There's a lot of sellers that sell items for $5 and free shipping, and they make money doing it. It just might not be in the way that you think. Hey everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to shed some light and let you guys know exactly how eBay sellers are making money selling items for $5 with free shipping. As a matter of fact, this is a comment that I get very, very frequently when I talk about selling items for $5, $6, or $7 a piece. I get that same age-old question, where's the profit? And this is a really easy conclusion to get to, because when you stack up things like fees, shipping, cost of goods, your time making the listings, it does feel like there is little to no profit. And so that brings up the question, why sell items for $5 and free shipping if there's no money in it? But I am here to tell you today that there are many reasons sellers sell things for $5 and free shipping, and I'm going to share all of those with you right now. First, let's take a look at the math regarding selling something for $5 with free shipping. Now, there are a couple of criteria that an item would need to hit in order to make this example plausible. The first criteria is the item would need to weigh less than 4 ounces, and you would need to pay for a first-class 4-ounce shipping label, and also that the item costs less than $1 to acquire. So in this first example, if you sell an item for $5 with free shipping, if your cost of goods was 72 cents and you paid $3.08 for a 4-ounce shipping label, that means that after fees and everything, you will be making a net profit of 29 cents. Now, of course, the net profit may vary a few pennies because, as you can see in my example, I just used a simple calculator that still takes into account PayPal versus eBay managed payments, but overall, the outcome should be relatively the same. So you can see here in this example that you're basically almost just simply breaking even with a cost of goods and shipping that low. So you would have to move a lot of product in order to make any sort of significant income selling things at this price point. And that's the first point that I wanted to make by showing this example. It is a very rare circumstance that sellers will sell everything in their store for $5 in free shipping and still maintain a really high profit without doing massive volume. So if there are sellers that are selling mostly $5 with free shipping items, I'm willing to bet that all of their items are super lightweight, they get their product for next to no cost, and they are moving massive volume. So if it's not necessarily about making a good amount of profit on the sale, why are sellers selling items for $5 in free shipping? Because it's not about the profits. Because it's not about the profit from that one $5 in free shipping sale. It's about everything else that comes with those sales. So if it's not about the profit, what are these sales doing? As a seller who's been on the eBay platform for over 15 years, I see 3 major advantages aside from the profits from those sales. The first one being activity in your eBay store. I have a very strong belief that an eBay seller is never more powerful on the eBay platform than that moment they get a sale. It doesn't matter what the dollar amount of that sale is. It is a sale triggered in the eBay algorithm that's telling eBay that you are a seller that is selling merchandise and eBay is making money off of you. Doesn't matter if eBay's making 10 cents off of your sale or $10. The algorithm just knows that you are selling stuff. Now, of course, all of this is speculation. I have no definitive proof except for my own personal experiences. But in my own experiences over years of selling on eBay, one sale usually triggers another regardless of what that dollar amount is. And that's because when you've gotten a sale, eBay is acknowledging that you are making them money. And so it's more likely to give your items a little bit more traffic. Your other items will get a bigger boost in search so that eBay can continue to make money off of your sales. It's not only the activity of sales that's bringing more activity to your eBay store, but also just having more items available for sale sale. It's you making activity in your eBay store by listing more items. It's another item for you to go and revise. It's another item for you to go put on a markdown. Probably sick and tired of hearing me say it if we're all being honest here, but eBay thrives off of activity. They want it. They need it. They want to know that you are a seller that is on their site to make money for you and to make money for them. So the more you're in your eBay account listing, the more you're in there shipping items, the more you're in there selling, you're getting eBay's attention. And this is overall great for your store and great for your sales. The second huge reason I see sellers doing this is cash flow. You guys, in any e-commerce business, cash flow is king. If you don't have cash flowing in and out of your business can't operate. Even a few dollars from a $5 sale can make a big difference in your cash flow, especially if it starts triggering more sales. In order for e-commerce businesses to function, there has to be money flow. There has to be money coming in and money going out, no matter if it's 29 cents or $29. Cash flow is king. A lot of the times, these businesses, myself included, might list items that bring them zero profits. They might be breaking even or they might be taking a loss, but they're doing this to get some form of cash flow into their business. Because think about this. If you have items that you could list on eBay, but you choose not to because it's not going to bring a profit when you sell that item, and you don't necessarily want to list an item to simply break even, what happens with that item? You paid money to source it. If you don't sell it at even a fraction of what you paid for it, you are taking a 100% loss on that item. You guys, full disclosure, I don't always make profit on stuff I sell. Sometimes I only break even. But if I'm not getting the stuff listed, if I am getting nothing for it, I am taking a lot of losses and losing out on a lot of the cash flow that I need to continue to operate my business month over month. If you're not handpicking your merchandise, if you're sourcing your items in bulk with something like liquidation or wholesale like I do, but you're only choosing to list the items that bring a certain percentage of profits and completely disregarding the items that you would either take a loss or break even on, you could actually be taking less profits than you realize on those items that you listed because you're taking a major loss on the items that you're choosing not to list. Here's an example. Let's say you buy a box of inventory for $500. And let's say that you feel like only half of those items are worth listing. So you set half of the items aside that you don't feel like are worth listing and you focus on the half that you do feel like is going to bring you a profit. So you list those items, and when all of them sell after shipping and fees, you end up making back about $700, which means that you made a $200 profit on your $500 purchase. But now let's say instead of only listing half of the items, you listed all of the items. And after all of the items sell, you end up making back $900. Now that's a $400 profit on your $500 purchase. So now if you're looking at it item by item, you might not have made a profit on every single item in the box, but once everything has sold, you've made double the profit overall. You've made $400 instead of only making $200. And selling everything in the box likely made you gain back your initial investment faster. That's a really good example of how cash flow works. You might be selling items that aren't necessarily bringing you a profit, but it's helping you get that money back so that you can reinvest and buy more inventory. So now it could be said that you are doing more work because you're listing items that aren't necessarily bringing you a profit when you could be putting your attention on other things that do bring profit. Maybe you are willing to wait to get that initial capital investment back. Maybe you are happy with only making a $200 profit without taking the time to list those other items. So this is where I would say it would have to depend on you, your business, and how many items you have to list. But if you're a seller that doesn't have a lot of capital to work with, it would be a good idea to list as much of that box as you could so that you could try to get your initial investment back faster. A third big reason why sellers would sell sell items this way is regarding the loss leader strategy. Have you ever heard the term loss leader before? Let's go over to Wikipedia and see what the true definition, or rather the Wikipedia definition, of what a loss leader is. A loss leader is a pricing strategy where a product is sold at a price below its market cost to stimulate other sales of more profitable goods and services. With this sales promotion and marketing strategy, a leader is any popular article sold at normal price. Loss lead is an item offered for sale at a reduced price that is intended to lead the subsequent sale of other services or items. The loss leader is offered at a price below its minimum profit margin, not necessarily below cost. The firm tries to maintain a current analysis of its accounts for both the loss lead and associated items so it can monitor how well the scheme is doing to avoid an overall net loss. So basically, a loss leader is almost a sacrifice to the store. They're willing to break even or take a loss on items to simply get people to shop, to get people into their store. There are a lot of eBay stores out there and a lot of sellers that have this mindset of get the person to the store and they will likely buy more. The prime example of a loss leader is actually grocery stores. If you think about it, they will put items that you regularly use on sale just to get you into the store, hoping that you're going to buy more, and they end up making a bigger profit on those other items. Why do you think milk is all the way in the back of the store and they run frequent sales on milk? Milk's only $1.99 a gallon, but you gotta walk all the way to the back of the store and buy a whole bunch of stuff in between. So the stores aren't necessarily making a profit on their milk, they're making a profit on everything else you buy. It's the same kind of concept. For instance, if you have a store where you have $5 makeup, let's say you're selling a bunch of makeup for $5. You're going to hope that a potential buyer comes into your store and they're not just gonna buy one $5 tube of lipstick. They're also gonna buy some mascara or some foundation. They're gonna fill up their shopping cart with numerous items. So that one $5 enticing listing has now led to a $15 sale. And because all of these items are so small, easy to ship, the cost of goods is probably really low, they've maximized their profits because this buyer added more items to their cart. So now this, what could have been 29-cent profit, it's now a $5 or a $6 profit sale because the seller is now able to combine all of the items into one package and maximize profits. So a seller might not be making a lot of profit on the sale of one item. The power comes into getting a buyer to buy multiple things. Sellers can do this by offering store-wide promotions in their store. This is where you might say store-wide. If you buy 2, you save 10%. If you buy 3, you save 15%. And this kind of promotion incentivizes the buyer to go into the seller's eBay store and buy more than just one thing. If you want to try to use this marketing strategy, you can run those store-wide promotions. You can also put some sort of a tagline in the description of your listing, letting the buyer know that there are more items like this and to prompt them to visit your eBay store. So next, I want to get into a couple of reasons why I personally find benefit in listing these kind of items in my eBay store, even though they might not bring me any profit. And I'll also go over a couple of things that you can do if you don't want to take the time to list these kind of items on eBay, but you still have items that you need to move to get some sort of cash flow back. But before I get into those things, I do want to take just a quick minute to thank the sponsor of today's video. Wholesale Ninjas is by far my favorite liquidator to source with because they are the only company that I have found where I can get wholesale quality merchandise for a liquidation price. There is a huge price difference between wholesale and liquidation, and usually quality reflects that price. If you pay more for wholesale, it's because you're paying for that pristine package and you want some form of guarantee that it's going to be in sellable condition. Versus when you buy liquidation, you're paying a lot less, like a lot less. We're talking maybe a tenth of the price. But because you're paying so much less for these items, you expect a lot more damage. The boxes aren't usually going to be pristine. You could have a lot of breakage. You could have a lot of expired items. And a lot of my experience with sourcing liquidation, that's exactly how it is. You end up taking a lot of losses in your lots because you're paying a low unit price, but not with Wholesale Ninjas. That's why they're my favorite. They're called Wholesale Ninjas for a reason. It's liquidation, but it looks like wholesale. Every time I get shipments from them, everything is impeccably packaged. There's minimal breakage. There's hardly any leaks. Very few items are expired, and there's not a ton of stickers to remove, which if you watch my other videos, you'll know that stickers are a real pain point for me. So it's these little things that Wholesale Ninjas does that really makes me appreciate the time that they take packaging items, sorting items, and making sure that I can sell almost everything that I get. Because Wholesale Ninjas is a huge sponsor of my YouTube channel, I do have a coupon code for them. The code is Lindey25, and it gets you $25 off of anything on the Wholesale Ninjas website. I'll make sure to put that information down in the video description, and I'll also make sure to link to my favorite products on their site. Thank you again to Wholesale Ninjas for sponsoring today's video, and thank you guys for listening to the sponsor, because it's sponsors like Wholesale Ninjas that allows me to bring regular, consistent content to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let me tell you 2 reasons why I personally like to list items like this in my eBay store, even though I'm really not making much, if any, profit. The first one is that it gives you more feedback. A lot of sellers don't consider how important feedback is to your eBay store. That feedback is not just a number, and it's not just a percentage to tell the buyers how good of a seller you might be. That feedback is giving you credibility on eBay's platform as a seller and in particular categories. The more credibility that you have in certain categories, the higher potential search placement you could have. Because consider this, eBay wants buyers to be satisfied, so they continue coming back to the site over and over again. In order to ensure 100% customer satisfaction, eBay wants to promote sellers that they know are selling items that have good reviews. So if a buyer comes to eBay's platform searching for a tube of lipstick, and you have a ton of positive feedback regarding sales of lipstick, your listings are probably going to appear higher in search than other sellers that might not have that credibility. When buyers leave feedback for sellers, they are telling eBay that you are a seller that sells merchandise that does a good job. So in theory, the more positive feedback you have, the better you can perform with the eBay algorithm. The second reason why I would list items like this is because it makes perfect store filler. So some sellers might refer to store filler as kind of having that loss leader marketing strategy. However, I don't technically consider store filler as being loss leaders. I consider store filler as being items that can sell when other items aren't selling, or it might be considered an add-on item. Store filler might also be items that I've listed when I don't have any good stuff left to list. Maybe I've listed all my $15 and $20 items, and now I just need to keep listing, and so all I really have are the store filler stuff left, which would technically be considered items from my death pile. Because of course, when I get items in liquidation, I don't race to list those store filler kind of items. I always race to list the items that I know are going to sell the fastest and the ones that are going to bring me the most profits. So those store filler items might end up getting pushed into a death pile. They might get put into a bin to list later when there's nothing else to list. And listing those items is helpful because again, it brings activity to my store and it's listing what could be considered to be bread and butter kind of items. Because I tell you, there has been numerous days where there has just been crickets in my eBay store, and I am so thankful that that $6 tube of mascara sold, because if not for that, I would have had a $0 sales day, but at least it's something. And usually it's something that triggers more sales in my eBay store because again, going back to the number one thing I talked about, the very first thing I talked about, activity. Because even the sale of a $6 tube of mascara, that is powerful to eBay because you have made them money, and so you're more likely to sell more items after that. So now let me talk about what you can do if you don't want to list those items on eBay, because here's the thing. You do have to be smart about this. You don't want to list a whole bunch of items that are $5 in free shipping that you could break even or take a loss on if it's going to take way too much time to list it, or if it's gonna take too much time to ship it. So if you are going to use this loss leader marketing strategy, or if you wanna utilize it as store filler or as a way to benefit yourself with cash flow, make sure that you're listing the right kind of items this way. Make sure it's not gonna take up a lot of inventory space, make sure it's going to be really quick to list, and make sure it's going to be fast and easy to ship. If it's gonna take you 20 minutes to get it listed, if it's gonna take a whole bunch of shipping supplies to ship because maybe it's breakable, probably not worth the time. But if we're talking about that tube of mascara where you're gonna be able to just type in the UPC, piggyback off of a listing, take 1 or 2 photos, and get it uploaded on eBay within 5 minutes, well then that's a perfect candidate for trying this out. So let's say you have these items, but they're not worth the time listing on eBay. Maybe they're going to be too much of a pain to ship. Maybe it's going to take way too much time photographing and listing. Maybe it's going to take up way too much space in your storage and you just need to get rid of it without waiting for it to sell. If I have these kind of items, I will either do yard sales to move them, or I will list them as box lots on Mercari or Facebook Marketplace. One of the things that I used to do before the pandemic, I haven't done it since the pandemic began, but one of the things that I used to do is anything that was maybe a $1 item that I just wanted to get rid of to get my cash back, I would keep boxes of it stored in my garage, and then once every 6 weeks or so, I would have a yard sale to move it all out for $1. I would literally put some tables in my driveway, put everything on the tables, and I would advertise it as everything is $1, come buy my stuff. And people loved that. Now, these weren't items that I was making a profit on because I was selling everything for $1, which was at or below my cost of goods, but I was getting cash flow back because if I wasn't selling these items for even $1, I was taking a loss on them. And it got to the point where I had regulars. I had people that knew who I was, what my sales were about, and they loved coming because they knew that they were going to be able to get really good deals and they would clean me out. What I do now is I create boxes of items and I flip them on Facebook Marketplace. So for instance, if I have a lot of personal care that's not really worth listing on eBay, I might put 20 items in a box and sell everything for $20. You could also do the same kind of thing on Mercari. On Mercari, this might be marketed as something like a junk drawer lot. Do they still have junk drawer lots on eBay? A lot of sellers used to sell stuff like that on eBay, where it used to just be like a mixed lot of stuff and they called it the junk drawer lot. I don't know if you could still do that on eBay or not, but you might consider it. But I would do that exact same thing on Mercari. I would just put a box together of 20 different things and I would sell it for 20 bucks plus shipping, because the shipping's probably gonna be heavy. But I would prefer selling those items locally on Facebook Marketplace or having a yard sale because it's the fastest way to move that kind of inventory. If you're listing it online, you're still waiting around for someone to buy it so that you can ship it out. Whereas if you do Facebook Marketplace locally or you just do a yard sale, you can get rid of it within a day. So we can't really know for sure why sellers operate their businesses in this way, but those are the main reasons why I would see a seller benefiting from selling items with $5 in free shipping. There's a lot of sellers that sell items for $5 in free shipping, and they make money doing it. It just might not be in the way that you think. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put a lot of useful information in there. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.